Couple of years down the road, things you feel like things are finally going your way.
How
Thing you
so?
feel you just feel like, the world has suddenly tilted on the axis of Aaron.
Oh no.
Things are going pretty well for you, you know?
What do you mean? Like what?
So you are the host of the number one rated dating TV show.
What's it
It's uh
called?
it's called Johnny on the Spot. And what it is you walk up to strangers and you kind of like heavily entice them to ask out other random strangers on dates and you kind of just see what happens.
What? The
So like
show
you walk up,
sounds like what? I just try to convince somebody to ask a stranger out on a date, and
yeah,
if they're
with like
successful, I just
money.
observe them.
Yeah, like well you
Okay.
just like hear about it later, you know? And so you go up to guys and you're like, "All right, hey, how much for you to like just ask out a stranger?" And they're like, "What?" And you're like, you have like a wallet says bad motherfucker on it and you got cash in there and you're like $100 and they're like what and you go you drive a hard bargain my friend 120 like you kind of like you try to get people to do it
120. I
and
like that
so
I'm
some
operating in increments of $20, not 200, $20.
well that's what's interesting about the show is that we get to see how you pitch it to different people because sometimes you do that you look at some people and you can tell these guys are high rollers they don't need the money you know what I mean but they need an excuse for a thrill. So you have to like read people very quickly when you're doing Johnny on the spot. And
The show
I'm
sounds
gonna
like
be
it
honest,
fucking sucks.
no, it rules because sometimes it's led to like some long-term relationships. People have gotten married because of this show. There's
Really?
oh yeah, I mean there are bloodlines that continue because of Johnny on the spot. I'm not gonna say it's an extraordinary number, but a number nonetheless. So
That's insane to me.
it's going pretty well, man. It's going very well. Uh, you also uh you have also just right before that you were coming off of a nationwide tour. You were the
Yeah.
opening you were like a an opener. You were the comic for a music show. You you kind of broke the ice up front.
I was, man, again, I hate opening for musicians. What musicians who was I opening for?
So real quick, your nickname is the Icebreaker, aka Ice Pick.
Ice Pick.
Ice Pick Brooks. So the ice pick, goes up and do jokes and crowd work and stuff like that. And then you're like, all right, are you guys ready for the Killers of Country? Everyone's like, yeah. The Killers of Country tour is a tour featuring country musicians, all of whom have murdered someone. They've killed someone.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So, for the most part, self-defense, but there's one or two old timers that just straight up like killed a guy because he was, kissing his wife or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
So
That sucks.
it's,
I'm opening for a tour comprised of murderers,
well, these are all people who,
killers.
they're killers. And they play country music. And so why not capitalize on it? And these guys, all the ones who, not all of them went to jail for it. A few of them, they're found to be justified. But even the ones who went to jail, they've paid their debt to society by this point. And now they're ready to pay their debt to country music. And you are opening for them. So the opening act is this guy, Wilbur Skiggins. He's one of those really, he's an old guy. He plays a very sparse guitar, but it's all about his voice. He's got it's a voice that like it's somewhere between Tom Waits and Frank Sinatra. it exists like
It's like all
perfectly
voices are somewhere.
perfectly in the middle between them, because because his voice sometimes gets a little low and raspy, but then like he that doesn't mean he can't hit those,
You
those
really open
those
it
notes,
up.
baby. Yeah.
Yeah,
So he's the opening act, or he's like the next
nails it.
one. Yeah. The next one is a band that's fronted by this dude. Uh, his name is Roscoe Von Jenkins. Roscoe Von Jenkins was a bank robber. He robbed over 75 banks
That's a lot of
around
fucking
yeah,
banks.
in America. Yeah. Uh and he's like, even though it's like, look, this doesn't necessarily excuse it. I'm just saying that, yeah, I robbed a bunch of banks, but all those banks that I robbed, they all had like, uh, really like skeezy deals going down. These aren't good guys. But, I understand that I shouldn't have done that.
Gotcha. So he pitches himself as
He
like a
reformed.
Robin
Yeah.
Hood kind of
Yeah. He
character.
is. And that's the thing. And that's kind of what he did is he would rob. So he robbed the banks, and then he would go to like local country music spots and play a set and just like throw money out to the crowd. And people were like, this guy's like the ultimate outlaw,
Yeah,
literally an outlaw.
yeah.
And so he did go to jail for a number of years, but he got out. He got out because he never got read his Miranda rights.
That's not how that works.
So he just like got off like scot free basically.
Out of Miranda
But
rights
yeah,
technicality.
but he's got a rep as being a legitimate outlaw of comedy and or of country music. And you open for him, and he's the middle act after you, the other dude, and him. The headliner, undisputably, the guy that about half of the people there are there to see and there to see only, the
Yeah.
main act, basically. He's this dude. Um, People call him Big Hank.
Big Hank.
Big
What's
Hank.
his deal? How many people did he kill? Or
So
what crime did he commit, I guess I should say.
so he was and it's kind of interesting. You'd think that there might be some friction between them for this, but there isn't. He was actually a security guy inside a bank, and it got robbed one day by like a bank robbing gang. They
Yeah.
all, yeah, they all wear masks, but all the masks are of all like different vice presidents.
Yeah.
So there's like Spiro Agnew, you know, there's a Nixon because technically, there's like a bunch of those guys, and so and he
Joe Biden.
Joe Biden is there, and Joe Biden is holding like a submachine gun.
So this guy was an active bank security guard during the Obama administration. And he also plays country music.
Yeah, so he ended up shooting all 16 of them, and they nothing happened to him. He was defending the bank. Uh but there are people there who witnessed it who were like pretty freaked out by the whole thing.
Gratuitous, it seems.
Seeing and they were all like most of them were like dead center headshots, like
Oh, Jesus.
yeah, LBJ's brains were just like sprayed all over the fucking walls.
Big Hank.
So in Big Hank, he's the closer. So, things in your career are
Real quick,
going.
are people there to see him because they have a fascination with him because he killed 16 people, or is it because his music is good?
Look, here's the deal. And he'll cop to this definitely, especially after a couple of whiskeys,
Oh, okay.
that people find out about him because of the 16 mostly headshots,
Yeah.
but they stay for the music,
Okay. Yeah, I was just
you
curious
know?
what his
Yeah.
fans were like, what their
No, it's a
motivation
decent
was.
question. Yeah, that's a decent question. I mean, there's definitely people who are there for the first time to see him, and I mean, not everyone's gonna like everything, but for the most part, people stay for the because they're fans of the music,
Okay.
and he provides a foot stomp and good time, Big Hank.
What's the name of his big hit? Or does he have a big hit?
He does. It's called 16 Souls Sent to Heaven.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So a lot of his
And
not only a lot of his music talks about this series of killings.
yeah, it's like, he's like, there's rappers have rapped about killing people. And they don't kill people. I actually killed people. And this is how I, express my thoughts about
Man, I'd
the
love to hear it.
yeah. So the hit, like it's like a ballad,
Sure.
and so he is like the main guy. So things are going pretty okay for you career wise. You made a very good amount of money opening for the Killers of Country, and you had a couple adventures. You had a great time,
Sure.
and
Sounds like it.
you did your hosting Johnny on the spot, which is um
Awful.
it's you think so?
Johnny on the spot. Yeah. You said that I hear about what happened later. So I don't
Yeah.
even like the payoff comes so much after was this successful or not? You know, like
Well, that's the whole
so
thing.
dumb.
And then that's like, you wait a few weeks. Sometimes you wait a few weeks. Sometimes you wait a few months before you check back in with them. And sometimes they're like, "What? Oh, yeah, no, we never actually ended up getting together." And then some
I
people are
wait
like,
months
"Well, yeah."
before checking in even.
Well, sometimes it depends upon, frankly, it
Man,
depends upon the couple. Some couples from the beginning, you know that they were just meant for each other. And yeah,
Johnny on the spot sucks.
and whenever they get married, in the you show the footage of them getting married or whatever, um, you record a version of that song Soul Man by Sam and Dave.
Yeah,
What's you singing?
classic.
You singing, "You're my soulmate." Do 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 do. You're my
No.
soulmate. Bow, do, do, do. Yeah. You're my
Wait,
soulmate. Na, 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 na. That
I
plays
do it just
over
like
it.
that? Or okay, so there is like a music backing track. It's not me doing that.
Acapella? No, no, no.
Okay.
Luckily, yeah.
But I record a Sam and Dave soulmate. That fucking sucks, Pat.
Yeah, but you get like the best studio musicians in LA to sit in for this record. So
That
it sounds
sucks.
fucking great.
It's yeah,
It's being
that sucks.
it's put on by Lanalax Productions. You're working with their TV division, you know. It's overseen the guy that you do the most business with or the most talking to rather is like the producer who's sort of like the head of like most media for the Lanalax Corporation, and his name is Mr. Cool. He is very tall, and he has like very thin to the point of being translucent blonde hair.
I hate this.
And when you walk outside with him and like the sun shines, you know what I mean, through it, you look at it and it's almost like you can see the endless births and deaths of the cosmos, like in his hair, but just for a second.
I don't
So
like Mr. Cool.
you,
He's very it's like one of the he's very unsettling.
why? He's your, he like works with you and stuff. He's never done anything to you.
I don't like it. I don't like this.
So you you go home and you are feeling pretty good.
Things are good.
Yeah, you crash on the couch and you turn the TV on and like before the TV, here's how quickly you fall asleep. Before when you hit power, you're asleep before the TV screen comes on.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Out like a light.
Yep. You come to and you are in an all white space.
Oh fuck.
A room with no walls.
Great.
You're kind of like standing there and you're like, what the hell? You turn around and standing there is this guy. He is easily 8 feet tall. He's dressed like a clown and he is holding a balloon that has your face on it.
Yeah.
And the face is howling a silent scream. He looks at you and he says, hello, Aaron. My name is Dreamy
Dreamy
Dan,
Dan.
ruler of the dreamscape. And welcome to the Multiverse Saga, Part 3, the conclusion.
Thank God.
The balloon pops. You wake up and you're like, what a crazy dream. And you get out of bed. You get ready for the day. You walk out into your living room and you realize that like you don't have anything to eat for breakfast. So you're like, oh, I got to go outside. There's there's a RBM Food Mart West right next to where you live. So you're like, go there, get some like eggs, you know what I mean? Maybe some turkey bacon or something. Get myself a breakfast. You think to yourself.
Yeah.
And it's raining out. You walk over. Luckily, you have your brand new umbrella. You were at a garage sale. There was like this old man just like selling all kinds of like random stuff. Um, and he's like everything $5. That's like his whole thing. And so you were walking by and you saw a bright orange umbrella, and you're like, $5, huh? And he goes, yep. And you pick it up. You hand him like a $5 bill. And it must be a trick of the sunlight because you could swear that the Abe Lincoln on that $5 bill winks at you as you like give it to the guy.
Is Abe Lincoln
And
on the five?
huh?
I don't handle cash much anymore.
Yeah. It's $5 that you had like you normally don't have cash, you just like found it on the ground.
Great.
Everything around it was like of the everything around it on the sidewalk was like super like dirty and like muddy and shit, but like everything around this $5 bill was like pristine, pristine ground.
That sucks.
And
Somebody
you were
clean
like
this off.
and you were like works for me. Like you kind of like scooped it up.
All right.
So you get this umbrella and you see like barely masked relief in the man's eyes as he takes that $5 bill and he hands it to you and he goes, by the laws and rights of the multiverse, this now belongs to you. and like hands it to you, and you're like, hell yeah, because it is like a pretty spiffy looking umbrella.
Yeah.
So you open your door, you open that umbrella, and walk to RBM Food Mart West. What's your usual like quick, easy breakfast thing?
I mean, breakfast tacos hard to argue with. I mean, just scrambling up some eggs.
Yeah.
Eggs, a little egg and cheese.
So you grab all the stuff that you need for your that breakfast popular that you're gonna make. Um, walk back, close your umbrella, which you've decided to name Bessie.
I'm not gonna name a fucking umbrella. I'm not gonna
It's a
name it.
real, it's a very nice looking umbrella.
I don't give a fuck. I'm not gonna name an umbrella.
So you close and bind up Bessie, and
God damn it.
you, you open the door, and standing in your living room is this figure.
What the fuck?
He's wearing like a blue like jumpsuit. It covers his like feet too. Goes like right up to his neck, and it goes kind of like around his head a little bit, so that there's like it looks like there's like a circle, behind his head of this jumpsuit. It's like a hood,
Yeah, but it's
but
like
it's framed like a circle,
it's
almost like
propped
a
up.
yeah. It's propped up and it's framed almost like a halo in like medieval art, like stained glass windows.
Oh Jesus.
And in the middle of his jumpsuit is a like it's like a hanging clock. There's like a clock hanging from his necklace, a la, Public Enemy.
Flavor Flav.
Yeah. And he goes, hello, Aaron. I am the timekeeper. He goes, have a seat. We have a lot to discuss.
Why the fuck are you in my house? Like, you're not gonna come into my house, surprise me, and then be like, tell me to sit down in my own house.
As you're like kind of getting mad at him, you kind of find like you surprise yourself because he like very gently takes the groceries out of your hands and like walks them over to the kitchen, and he just starts like making breakfast for you, man. And
I don't like that at all. I don't like that one bit. I do not like that at all.
but it's very smooth, and he does it very quickly. It feels like borderline instantaneously that you have in front of you on a on your nicest plate that you have.
My
It's
nicest
like
plate.
yeah, it's China, and it says on it Aaron rocks.
And that's
And
my
on that
nicest plate
yes.
is one that has writing on. The nicest plate I own is one that has my name written on it.
Yeah. So and on that plate are like two of the most delectable looking breakfast tacos you've ever seen in your life. He's sitting across the table from you. His arms are like folded. Do you eat the tacos?
Fuck no. I go get out of my house. I'm not getting to the point where I'm giving this guy enough time to heat up a pan and make fucking tacos. You know how long it's gonna take? I'm not gonna sit there for 10 minutes.
But it takes him like it feels like nothing.
That's Yeah, I'm
And
not
when
eating
you
these fucking tacos. And I'm
and the
pissed off that you used my groceries that I just bought.
you see the clock has like moved forward, like 15 minutes or whatever.
What? I go, you gotta go. You gotta get the fuck out of my house. You gotta get out. You're controlling time and breakfast. Like, I don't like this. You have to go. I'm not listening to you.
So he gets up and he goes, okay, Aaron. He goes, just know this.
I don't want to hear it. Get the fuck out of here. You
He
piss
walks
me
out.
off. Goodbye. God, he's just so smug and like thinking like I have to listen to him. So you're coming to my
Right.
house and telling me to sit down. I
Yeah.
kick you out, and then you go, one more thing. Like, get the fuck out of here.
So he leaves. Um,
I throw those breakfast tacos in the fucking trash and I make my own.
you make your own breakfast tacos. You eat them. Uh, they give you diarrhea.
God, why? Why are they giving me diarrhea?
I don't know. You cook them. So you're throughout like the rest of the week, it's the weather's like pretty okay, things are going good. And then there's like a pretty bad rainstorm. And you have to go outside to get the you know, you have very important mail being delivered. So you had to like go outside
Yeah.
to get the mail. Yeah. You bought a you're a lifetime member of the local laser tag,
No.
and
I
you're getting mailed to you like a card that you can just like swipe when you get there, and you just get in.
I hate how
You get
much
in for
laser
free.
tag is in this show.
Laser tag is awesome. And now you can go as many times as you want. It's already been paid for. That's what your membership does. And so you go outside, you open your umbrella, and you go outside to get the mail. You bring it in, and it is like it feels just as satisfying as you knew it would as you slide it
Oh,
effortlessly into your wallet. So you close the umbrella, you walk back inside, and the timekeeper is sitting in your living room again.
what the fuck? Like, why can't this guy just stay, meet me on my porch? Why does he have to be in my house?
He's like, Aaron, you've used the umbrella and summoned me once more. Look,
I go, okay,
all I
good. Now that
need,
I know that, I won't use this. So you can fucking leave.
he goes, all I need is like a minute.
I don't want him. I don't want a minute. I don't want a minute. I go,
He goes, after
taking
all,
this
I've
out.
got as many minutes as you need. He like winks at
I'm
you.
gonna take this and walking outside in the rain and I'm throwing this fucking umbrella into my trash can and I'm walking back in rain. I'm gonna get wet just to never have to deal with this again. I said, please leave my house.
And he goes, all right, Aaron. He like, he leaves.
Good.
He turns around and he goes, but just real
I
quick.
don't want, and I fucking closed that goddamn door in his fucking face. I don't want to deal with a man who I have to summon with an umbrella who like shifts time around and made my breakfast for me without even like saying anything. Refuses to leave. I hate all of this.
So you throw it away. You walk back in. The timekeeper's gone. You kind of go about, the rest of your week going to work or not going to work, but you know what I mean. You're in
Yeah,
between time on like shooting it. So like you're going to like production meetings and stuff like that. You're filming promos, you know, you're doing like local promos, you know.
sure.
Um, Hi, this is Aaron Brooks from Johnny on the Spot. And when I'm in uh Kentucky, I love Channel 62. Stuff like that.
Channel 62 in Kentucky.
Yeah.
Getting a shout out. Okay.
So, you know, you're doing that. Um, on Friday, you leave work. You had to park on the very far side of the parking lot that morning when you got to work.
Yeah,
And so, yeah, the rest of so that parking lot has, and you're kind of at a loss to explain why they haven't done anything about this, but it has become a place for people. If they're going to get fucked up, they're just going to park their car there and just go out, get drunk as fuck, Uber home, come back and get it the next day.
Okay. It's just a lot.
A lot. And so
Okay.
you have to go to like they're all gone by now, but you have to go to the far side of the parking lot, and it like starts to just pour rain, and you're like, ah, damn it, and you start like running because
Consequences of my actions. Yeah.
yeah, and you start running, and you get to your car,
Yeah.
and you're like, "Whoa," and you get in, drive home. You get home, and you get a phone call from your agent, and he tells you that Johnny on the spot has been canceled.
Yeah, I get it. It sucks. Be glad to have it as long as we did,
Yeah,
but
he
it
says,
sucked.
yeah, he goes, yeah, Aaron, we really were. We were good to have it as long as we did. And he goes, I'll keep your name in mind for future projects. And he hangs
Thanks,
up.
friend.
He goes, thank you, Aaron. And like you sneeze, hang up. You walk upstairs and like you sneeze again. And you're like,
What
what
the
the hell?
fuck?
So it turns out that and like you keep like sneezing like in like faster intervals, you know what I mean? And now you're going like sneeze, sneeze, sneeze. So you're just like on the top of the staircase sneezing. You got when you were walking through the rain, you ended up getting some kind of like, some kind of weird like sinus disease. Well, not sinus disease, but like the flu or like the cold or whatever.
Yeah.
So you get some
Yeah.
kind of really intense. It's actually your patient zero of what's been called the new flu.
The new
And
flu.
the new
Why did you
flu.
point at me when you say that?
It just,
You
I don't know,
pointed at
the new flu.
the new flu,
Your
starring
patient's
you.
yeah, your patient zero for the new flu. The new flu, it only affects people who like walk in the rain, and it's like super easy to comp. Eventually, they come up with a cure for it, but you're the first one that happens to. So you can't
Yeah.
stop sneezing, and you reach the top of the stairs, and you sneeze so hard that you fall, and you like
Oh
hit your
God.
neck on in the same spot on every single stair. So
I
you hit
hit
you
every single stair on the way down,
on
and I
the
hit
same
my neck at
spot.
the same. Oh,
Yeah.
Pat,
And so
the new flu.
and you keep sneezing the entire time too. So by the time you hit the bottom, you've broken your neck and you fucking die.
God damn, that sucks. This what a stupid fucking
You
the timekeeper. Like, God,
didn't let him
that goes.
explain anything.
Yeah, because he showed up in my house. He moved time forward. He just made breakfast for me using my own groceries without
Yeah.
even saying anything.
You, you
Fuck
had the
him.
you had the umbrella of the multiverse.
Yeah, I guess I did. I bought it for $5. I fucking threw it out because of that prick. Fuck him. The new